You want to make animated eyes move and blink in the Procreate Dreams app? Well, here's an easy way to do it. Create a new movie project. Doesn't really matter the size, I would just keep the frame rate around 12 to 15. Start in Draw and Paint mode, and using a sketching brush, sketch a character or face. It doesn't really matter how good it is, this is just a practice exercise to learn new techniques. So once you have a basic sketch, create a new drawing layer above your sketch layer. You may want to adjust the opacity of that sketch layer to about 50%. Using a technical pen with black ink, trace or ink your sketch, refining the details. Draw the contour lines or outlines of your character. When you're satisfied and like what you have, you can delete the sketch layer as it won't be needed. Then duplicate the contour outline drawing layer. The top layer will remain the contour line drawing, while the bottom layer will be where you add color. Be sure that the color layer is selected. Choose your color of your choice from the color picker and drag and drop the color into the shapes to automatically fill with that color. If the contour lines of your shapes are not closed, the color will overflow outward, so be sure all shapes are closed. Now, using the eraser tool, erase the orbital cavities or eye holes if needed, making sure that they are not filled with any color and that they remain transparent. Now exit Draw and Paint mode. If you need to adjust the duration or frame rate of your project, tap the name of the project on the left and then select Properties. Return to the timeline, extend or lengthen the frame of the track by dragging the edge or selecting Fill Duration from the pop-up menu. Create a new track. Drag that new track below the face. This new track will be the background fill color for the whites of the eyes. Enter Draw and Paint mode, choose an appropriate brush, and paint the whites of the eyes. Here I am adding a bit of blue, gray, and red, and then using the smudge tool to blend those two colors to create a quick gradient. Return to the timeline, extend or lengthen the frame of the track by dragging the edge or selecting Fill Duration from the pop-up menu. You may want to rename your tracks, which is a very good habit to get into, especially if you eventually have numerous tracks to deal with. Now tap the plus button again to add a new track. Make sure it is above the whites of the eye track and below the face track. Draw circles or ovals to represent the iris of the eyes. You may want to duplicate that drawing layer to add color like we did with the face. Exit Draw and Paint mode, and on the timeline, extend the duration of that newly created clip. Next, add another new track. This track will be for the eyelids. Place this track in between the face track and the iris track. Enter Draw and Paint mode, long hold on the color of the face to automatically select that same color again. You may want to adjust that color, making it slightly lighter or darker. Now on the stage, and under the face clip layer, paint the eyelids. You can return to the timeline to turn off the other tracks, making it easier to refine the shapes. The little check mark in the top left corner of the track, just tap that and it'll turn it off. Exit Draw and Paint mode and return to the timeline. Turn all the tracks back on, and at this point you should have 4 tracks. A face track, an eyelid track, an iris track, and a whites of the eye track. All of which, except for the eyelid track, are full duration. Keep the eyelid track short. Only a few frames will be needed. Extend the length of that clip so that it is 2 to 4 frames in length. Of course, this is dependent upon the selected frame rate of your movie project that you are working on, so it may vary. For that added illusion of the blink, you could add keyframe movements to the eyelid track. Tap the playhead action button to select the action menu. Add a move and scale keyframe to the start of the clip, and then add one at the end of the clip. On the first keyframe, move the eyelids to the up position, and on the second keyframe, move the eyelids to the close position. The app will automatically tween the movement for you. If the shapes of the eyelids exceed the boundaries of the face, you may need to erase and refine them a bit more, as I'm doing here. One final touch to help create the illusion of animated eyes is to have the irises move. To quickly do that, tap to select the iris track, then tap the Perform or Record Movement button. Now on the stage, drag or move the irises of the eyes. The app will automatically record the movements and create keyframes for you, which you may need to adjust to create better consistency of movement, depending of course on your desired results. As I said before, there are many ways to accomplish the task of animating eyes, and I hope this technique helps you with your progress, as it is a great starting point, and I believe it is probably the easiest. But if you know of a simpler way to do it, let me know in the comments below. Now, if you find this video helpful, did you know that you could help support this channel by convincing the narcissistic algorithm that this channel is relevant? Yeah, simply by clicking that like button, sharing this video, and subscribing to the channel. Not only that, but if you really want to help, you could use one of the links below to make a purchase, like the affiliate Sketchboard Pro discount code, or you could buy me a cup of coffee, or even join me and others on Patreon. Now, my preferred method of animating a blinking eye is to actually create a new layer above the face layer and to draw or paint the added details of the partially closed eyelid and then just animate those layers off and on the timeline as needed, using no keyframes. Here you can see I created a caricature in the Procreate app where each element of the eye is independently on its own layer, and then I imported the full project into the Dreams app where it can be animated. If you would like to see a full video with more details explaining this method, let me know in the comments below. That's gonna be it for this one. Thanks again for watching. This is Brendan from Artismia. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.